You may invite His Excellency Peter Obi and ask him, what is the ADC position on fuel subsidy? What is the ADC's framework on security? He doesn't know because he's never been interested. They are just waiting for the tickets to be handed to them. Right. But if you say you want to contest election and you believe in the country, in changing the country, you should know what your party stands for.
How much of a blow is the departure of Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso?
I will be lying to say it didn't mean anything. No, these are two significant politicians, frontline politicians in this country. When you lose those two politicians, then you will feel that you've lost something. Is it a setback? Is it a setback? The answer is yes. We don't think they are our enemies. We are not going to go into a dogfight with them to say, oh, they are not our enemies. There are three categories of people in ADC. One, there are those who are just looking for a platform to contest election, an SPV. There are those who think that ADC presents an opportunity to wrest the country from the misgovernance of APC. And the only reason they are in ADC, they don't want to run for any election. They want to ensure that this APC government ends because they believe they are moving the country in a different direction. There's a third category, some of who belong in the second category, who believe that ADC coalition gives us an opportunity to build a real political party, not just an SPV, but a real political party that is anchored on something.
You know, say they talk, say go explain tire. Bolaji Abdullahi, the National Publicity Secretary of ADC, you go explain tire. You see his body language, he's angry. I really sympathize with him, I empathize with him. He's really very angry that Peter Obi and Kwankwaso left, you know. We will listen to the detail of the interview. What I discovered is that ADC wanted to put Obi in a corner. They don't want to declare who the presidential candidate is going to be. They don't want to zone it to the south or zone it so that when it's late, Obi will has no choice. And mind you, Obi has chosen Kwankwaso as a running mate. Atiku has a choice of choosing Amechi or Makinde. So which means that if Obi loses the primaries, he's going to go out, he's not going to contest. So the whole picture is coming out clear. ADC wanted to do Peter Obi 419, coupled with the Tinubu trying to hijack and not Obi being in the ballot. Let's listen to this Bolaji Abdullahi's narration, his own side of the story. But we all know the truth. As Jonathan said, if a man is pretending to sleep, you will never be able to wake the man up because he's not really sleeping. He's pretending to sleep. We'll see at the end of this interview. Let's listen to Bolaji Abdullahi to see what he has to say. From his body language and from the word that he said and the word that he's unsaid, you discover what they wanted to do to Peter Obi and Kwankwaso.
How much of a blow is the departure of Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso? It looks like you're losing the very coalition you're trying to build.
Well, I mean, thank you very much. I will be lying to say it didn't mean anything. No, these are two significant politicians, frontline politicians in this country. When you lose those two politicians, then you will feel that you've lost something. But it's not a mortal blow because what we're trying to do, like you said, is to build a broad-based coalition, a big coalition that will include everyone. So if at some point some players feel that, and there was a clear agenda, that was the reason we're trying to build this coalition. Our individual parties have been destabilized, and the only way out for us was to come together and form this coalition. That is one. Number two, there was a consensus among us that the direction the country is going is quite precarious. And the only way we can win election and rescue the country from the misrule of the APC is to build a party that is formidable enough and that can beat the incumbent. That's the idea behind the coalition we're trying to build. Now, these two gentlemen you've mentioned perhaps have a different idea of what the political party should be doing, or they have a different idea of the direction that the country should be going. So
but what sense do you have of what made them walk away?
Well, we've had all kind. I mean, I will refer to the statements released by His Excellency Peter Obi announcing that he was leaving the party as the only credible evidence that I have of why they left. One, he said the party was beleaguered by legal challenges.
Which is true.
Which is true. Now, but it's in spite of these legal challenges that we have built one of the most formidable coalition parties in Nigeria. And people were beginning to look at the 2015 as a benchmark, and they were hoping that we'll be able to do a repeat. Now, we're very clear, and we said the ruling party, the APC, the government will not leave us alone, because what they were trying to build is a one-party state. They are trying to create a situation that when we arrive at 2027, President Bola Tinubu will be the only candidate on the ballot. Now, everything they've done in between that, and Victor Ume, the Senator Victor Ume, outlined some of them, throwing these legal challenges at the party to create. We've stood against it. We fought it at every point. And that is what, if we are committed, we are determined, and we believe in multi-party democracy, and that's what we are fighting for, we will stay in an environment that gives us the best chance to win election. We are not going to, because we know, and I remember one instance, His Excellency Peter Obi was the one who said it at a coalition meeting, that look, once we present two candidates against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we have given them a chance. So what has changed? So if the legal challenges are the reason that they have left, and since last 3 days or so, they've created the impression as if ADC is drowning in these mountains of legal challenges, the answer is no. At the moment, we have only 3 cases. And these 3 cases, without trying to be prejudicial, are all flimsy cases. And I'll outline the 3 cases. One, the one that the Supreme Court referred us back to the Federal High Court, which is the issue of leadership, the Nafiu Bala one. And it is very clear, the Supreme Court is a settled case, that the issue of leadership of a political party is not justiciable. That is one. 2, the one by Association of National Legislators or something, saying that ADC should be deregistered because we did not win any election in the last election.
You mean the one that's been joined by the Attorney General? By the Attorney General,
very disgracefully so. Very disgracefully. Now, the question is that true? Is that a matter of fact that ADC did not win anything in the last election? The answer is no. Because the Abejide guy that just decamped to APC was an ADC member of the House of Representatives, which means we won an election. On the platform of ADC, we still have his certificate of returns. Now, you cannot sustain the argument. Then number 3 is the one that some state chairmen went to court recently challenging the Congresses. You know, that Justice Joyce Abdul Malik has. So these are the only 3 cases that we have. So, but they give the impression that ADC is in this precarious situation and it is destabilizing. Now, that is number 1. Number 2, he said, oh, there are situations within the party, you are not made to, you don't feel wanted, you are being treated like this. Come on. Charles, I can tell you, as the National Public Secretary of ADC, that none of the aspirants, none of the leaders has been favored by the party the way His Excellency Peter Obi has been favored.
Well, that's not the impression that's being given.
And I'll give you I'll give you evidence.
I mean, the impression that's being given is
that it's been treated like
Atiku's.
No, that's not true. Okay, I'll give you what is the heart of the operation? Which office is the heart of the operation of a party? The organizing secretary's office. Is the organizing secretary's office that organizes the internal elections, the primaries, the congresses, and all that. Is the national organizing secretary. Is Peter Obi's man.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that, I mean, the issue here is whether or not the party has been, I don't want to say set up, but if you like, rigged up in favor of a particular candidate. That's the impression that they have, and they're in a position to be able to make that determination.
No, that's the impression they are giving.
So what would be the point of joining the party in the first place?
Hang on, that's the impression they are giving, but this is not based in fact. And nobody within the ADC who is not part of the gravy train will tell you this. I will explain to you. We started the coalition journey almost about 2 years ago. Don't forget, before His Excellency Peter Obi made up his mind to join the ADC in December of last year, it took almost 6 months. We were always meeting with him. He was always coming to the coalition meeting. Then he refused to join. He was giving excuses. At a point, he said, the issue of zoning needed to be settled before he could join. And we said, look, if you want to join, come and join the party. If you believe in what we believe in, come and join the party. We are not going to, if you want to come on a precondition that we determine zoning before you come, this is a coalition. We are not going to be able to guarantee that. Then he came in December. Now, does it mean, and I heard you ask earlier about judgment, does it mean that before he joined, almost taking him almost a year to decide to join the ADC, he didn't see that it was an Atiku party?
Well, I tell you what, okay.
No, because he didn't see that it was an Atiku party. And so you are telling me, and we've defended it ad infinitum, ad nauseum,
well,
sorry.
You're saying that the impression we're getting is that they say that they were given certain impressions.
Who gave this?
Well, I don't know. I'm not in the party.
I'm not trying to be sexist.
Yeah.
But what is known is that when a woman wants to divorce her husband, she gives all kind of excuses, including him suffocating her with too much love. You know, that's what I think is going on. Look, a political.
so you guys were suffocating him with too much love, and he couldn't take it.
So he couldn't take it.
I like that.
The point today is that ADC is a coalition of political parties, of political leaders from different backgrounds. And anyone who wants to leave the coalition is free at any point to leave freely. But you don't have to be given this excuse, because sometimes you come across as if you are whining.
Well, they have to give reasons why they
that's what
left.
I'm saying. But you don't
to justify their leaving. Why do you think he left then? If you don't think that the reasons he gave are plausible.
I may be wrong, but I'll tell you why I think he left. I think it's premeditated. It didn't just happen last Saturday. It's premeditated, and you can verify it. About 2 months ago or so, he had a meeting with Seriake Dixon in Kano with Kwankwaso. That week, Kwankwaso was making up his mind to come to the ADC. Then they had that meeting in Kano with Seriake Dixon. Then after that meeting, I went to see Governor Dixon. I said, Governor Dixon, Kwankwaso was planning to join the ADC until you met with him in Kano. Then he began to do this and this. I hope you are not trying to set up a different platform, because when you do that, you will have divided the rank of the opposition and given the incumbent an opportunity to come back to power. I hope that's not what you're trying to do. He said, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. Actually, the NDC, I have it. If anything happens to ADC, you guys can come. I said, but who else has this understanding with you? Is this understanding that you have a shared understanding? Then he said, yeah, and then I explained to him. Now, what I'm saying is that all this had been pre-planned. And that is why it's easy for some people to begin to look back and wonder whether Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso was actually not a Trojan horse that was brought into the ADC.
You're talking about divisions.
Yes.
I mean, the argument that's being made is that there are, by implication, divisions within the ADC itself. That if you've got all these big wigs in there with enormous egos and ambitions, and you were not going to settle for a consensus candidate.
No.
What you're going to have is political warfare.
No,
so the divisions were already there.
We're going to settle for consensus because, like you rightly said, there was no possibility of us doing direct primary.
Right.
The Electoral Act.
So the impression was that that consensus was leading in a particular direction.
Whether it was leading in a particular direction,
or in the direction of Atiku,
or it was slow in coming. Right. What you see, honestly, I think the kind of party, the kind of party that a Peter Obi needed was the party he's in now. A party that belongs to one man that he can say, I guarantee you the ticket before you come in. But in a political party like a coalition, where a lot of negotiations need to happen, where you cannot take anybody for granted, where you have to make sure you keep everybody within the coalition, even when they don't get what they want, and it requires inspiring people and giving them reasons to stay. I don't think Peter Obi can survive in such environment. And that's why he's gone to NDC, because NDC can promise him the ticket. And now, when he started his romance with Rabiu Kwankwaso, it became, we're trying to create a scenario that he not only wanted the party's ticket, he also wanted to be the one to arrive with a running mate. Come on, Charles. It doesn't happen. Some people will lose if you get the ticket. Some people will lose. And we have to be able to give them something. That's what it means to build a coalition.
Right. But so now that he and Kwankwaso have left, how much of a problem will competing interests be or remain within the party? In other words, beyond the legal problems that you've got, you also have political problems.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm not happy they left. And I cannot tell you why, because I have my own sentiments. I'm not happy they left. But in a way, it's a bit of relief. Now we can focus on really doing what we need to do without being under the pressure cooker that they were trying to put us in.
Are you disheartened?
No, not at all.
That in the sense that what you tried to achieve, which was to unify the opposition, appears to have failed now.
No.
Between himself and Kwankwaso, they've got 7 million something votes.
We don't even,
and that's a big chunk.
Don't
taken away from
that. No, that's. I mean, there's no guarantee that because you won.
No, I understand.
No, because you won
what I'm saying that
5 million election in the last election, then you still have that.
But you make those
somewhere.
You make your assessments based on certain projections. It's just like when you're making statistical projections.
That's what I'm saying.
Like is
it a setback? Is it a setback? The answer is yes. Is it a fatal blow? The answer is no. Because the objectives are very clear. They are still the same. We don't think they are our enemies. We are not going to go into a dogfight with them to say, oh, they are not our enemies. As long as the objective is still clear.
Yeah, but if it's not about the objective, it's about the realization of that objective. If your objective was to unify the opposition, you haven't done that because you failed to bring the opposition parties together. You've brought some opposition individuals together, but you haven't brought the parties together.
No.
That's number one. Number two is that given all that, those opposition individuals that you brought together have started to leave, and starting with two major parts of that.
But they are still
people who came, third and fourth in the last election.
You see, we can have a different take on what is going on, what is happening. There are three categories of people in ADC, leaders in ADC, and I can see them, right? And I know where I belong. One, there are those who are just looking for a platform to contest election, an SPV, to contest election. That's all ADC meant to them. There are those who think that ADC presents an opportunity to wrest the country from the misgovernance of APC. And the only reason they are in ADC, they don't want to run for any election. They want to ensure that this APC government ends because they believe they are moving the country in a different direction. There's a third category, some of who belong in the second category, who believe that ADC coalition gives us an opportunity to build a real political party, not just an SPV, but a real political party that is anchored on something. Now, I had His Excellency Peter Obi said, oh, he's not desperate to be president, he's only desperate to rescue Nigeria. That has to be built on something. We set up a manifesto committee because you ask us, what do you want to do differently?
Yeah.
We set up a manifesto
committee. That's a good point
you
raised there, because I'm wondering what people like Patu Tomi, who's an essential part of that, what's he going to do now?
We set up a manifesto committee that grafted through almost 2-3 months to develop a manifesto for the party and came out with clear positions on what we will do differently. You may invite His Excellency Peter Obi here and ask him, what is the ADC position on fuel subsidy? What is the ADC's framework on security? He doesn't know because he's never been interested. They are just waiting for the tickets to be handed to them.
Right.
But if you say you want to contest election and you believe in the country, in changing the country, you should know what your party stands for.
Just before
on a
we
particular
go,
thing.
Can the ADC still anchor a credible opposition coalition for 2027, or has that window now closed?
No. Absolutely. I said maybe it's a setback, but it's a temporary setback. We are recalibrating and we are going to come back stronger. The possibility of a 3-horse race, has it dented our chances? Perhaps. But is it mortally so? No.
So is the way now clear for Atiku to essentially get the nomination?
No. It is by far. I mean, it's this, you see.
But he clearly is the person with the biggest chance of getting it. I mean, he came second in the last election.
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
There are people who are. Rotimi Amechi he came second to Asiwaju in the ADC, in the APC primaries.
Yeah, but the primary is different
exactly.
from a presidential election.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that if you say that is the path now clear for Atiku, and the reason you are saying that is because he won so many votes, why not? But I'm saying that this party ADC is not going to be an SPV for anybody.
Okay. Well, you've made that point. I've got to run.
So what they wanted was an SPV, and we can't give it to them.
Okay.
What does this Bolaji mean by SPV? SPV. It is clear exactly what happened in 2023, where Atiku destroyed PDP by not allowing them to zone the ticket to the south or to the west because of incumbent was just a northerner that was that ruled for 8 years. He didn't allow it. It's the same thing now. He migrated the structure from PDP to ADC now to hijack ADC. Tinubu is from the west, and he's ruling he has ruled for 4 years. Let somebody from the southwest, southeast, or south complete his tenure 4 years at least before you come back. Even though you want to come back. And Obi have already said, I will look for 4 years. After that, I give it to you people to collect. He still persists. So, and ADC are keeping quiet. How many years? How many minutes? How many meetings will it take them to arrive at a consensus or arrive at a zoning? So, anyway, drop your comment in the comment section. Subscribe to our channel. See you on the other side.